Oh,
She's gonna criticize the title, and then she made her title poem.
poem. How to say it? It's the feeling you get when... No, that's too literal. An ant describing the moon. No, that's not even good. Plus, I hate metaphors. Nothing. I'm just sitting here. There has to be something. Something, anything at all. This should not take 2 hours.
Well, that one ended up pretty literal too, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess it did.
Well, it's a good topic. I wrote a poem about this feeling once.
Oh, that's right, you did, didn't you? Sorry about that. Didn't mean to cramp your style.
You didn't. Totally different poem. It's a much different style for one thing, and I'd say it gets across the feeling of it much better. I really like the inclusion of some half-baked idea that you then throw away because it sucks. I know what that's like.
Yeah, probably most of us do. Except for Sayori and Yuri, whose poems just magically come to them with no issues.
That is not so. I struggle often with particular phrases. Often I'll know what I'm trying to say, but my first idea on how to say it doesn't sound quite right. Or it doesn't get across the image I want to get across. So yes, sometimes I struggle with exactly the feeling you're describing here.
But Sayori doesn't, right? Well, I mean, I'm not better than you guys with poetry. Stop being so modest. It's really impressive.
What is?
I've never seen Sayori write a poem that took her longer than like 5 minutes to write. I watched her write for a few of them. She just sits down to write, looks off into the distance for like 3 seconds, and then starts writing really fast. And then a minute or two later, without any pauses, she's finished. And she doesn't change anything. She doesn't even read it to herself. It's just, hey, finished. Her poem from this week probably was the same.
I saw it.
Oh, like sounds like I'm trying to get directly better than you guys. And I'm not. No one's saying you're trying to be better, Sayo. Just that you are a poetry genius. And I love you.
How long did this actually take you to write, Natsuki?
This one, like 10, 15 minutes. But the one I was trying to write before that, I tried for like 2 hours until I gave up and then I wrote this one.
Well, what was the feeling you were trying to describe in the first one?
Oh, nothing super interesting, really. I wasn't super invested in it. That's why I switched.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, time for me to finish up then, I think.
Bark.
Skin, brain, reach. Where I am is where you will be, and where you are is where I will be, but somehow we will never quite be in precisely the same place. When you speak, I listen, and when I speak, you listen, but that won't be enough for us to share quite the same mind. What I am and what you are defined by barriers. People are their barriers, and you can't bring them down, no matter how much you want to, or they won't be themselves.
I think I can at least start to understand this one. Wait, no. I think I need to read this a few more times to get it. And then think about it for a while.
Good, I've done my job as a poet then.
Something about how people will always be separated in a way. It feels lonely.
I'd say that feeling is certainly getting to the heart of what I am going for. I think I'm understanding the feeling everyone else gets with your poems. The feeling that something meaningful is being described, but that it's slightly out of reach. But in particular here, I'm not quite getting the title. The title is related to the primary theme of the poem. Oh, I see. Quite helpful. No, but I'd rather you all just think about it.
Well, if that's it, then let's go ahead and move on to emails, maybe. Are we not going to have any free time? Of course we'll have free time. Let's just do it after emails.
Can you bring up the first one?
Sure.
Dear Literature Club, your school is a Japanese/American hybrid school, right? If so, does your Japanese/American hybrid high do standardized testing? Sincerely, Joshua. P.S. First question is rhetorical.
I hate these tests. Yeah, we have really stressful standardized tests. Yeah, or if you have to take a standardized test just to get into high school year. I think it's the same as your real world Japan.
I've never been a fan of them. Tests of this kind really put immense pressure on students. And they test whether you know facts rather than whether you think well or have a good mind. A lot of students who might be brilliant in the right setting end up doing poorly. I think it's a bad system. And yet as a teacher I have to help administer it. It's a tough situation. I've never been that upset by the tests.
You're only saying that because you always do well in them.
That might be so, but I've always found them rather simple. Like Masita says, it's a test of what you know, not necessarily how you think. So you just have to know the right things.
It's a lot harder for most of us to just know things easily in the way you do, Yuri.
Yes, there's probably a lot of truth to what Masita says. It tests only for a certain kind of intelligence. But really, there are many different kinds of intelligence, and it is regrettable that standardized testing can deny opportunities to people who would be otherwise deserving.
Thanks for the question, Josh. Let's do the next one.
Triangle Wheel. Also related to a later email, I would recommend Celeste's DLC. It has a few different that make it interesting. It's a platformer, and a difficult one, but for some reason you can't really let it go. And trust me on this one, MC, I'm not a platformer guy either, and I loved it. The first day I bought it, I spent 12 hours straight, save the bathroom, and meal breaks playing through the game to the end. Well, technically there's still an after-story bit that I haven't unlocked, but the main game... hold on. It's hard for me to read this text on this background for some reason. It's also story-driven and follows your characters as they climb Celeste Mountain. It's a strange mountain, though. It doesn't always seem to obey the laws of the natural world up there, and the character even sees other sides of themselves given flesh and form. Even on levels with 300 plus deaths, the experience was breathtaking, and it always seems to be worth it. It also has an amazing soundtrack. I'm currently waiting until I forget the details so that I can go back and play it again. Also, for Yuri, another story-driven game you might like is The Bastion. It's founded off of a very interesting concept. You're mostly just watching the story unfold, but hot damn was it a ride. I really don't want to spoil anything here, but if you decide to look it up, I can't stop you. Bastion is indeed a good game. So Yuri, try playing Hand Simulator with a DLC. One more for Yuri, actually. This one is a mobile game as far as I know. I'm honestly not sure if I fully grasp what's going on there, but it does have some horror aspects, not jump scares or anything, just the things that seem out of place, and things that are downright disturbing. Anyway, the Bluebird of Happiness. Follow the phone and see where it goes.
Oh yeah, this one came from a YouTube comment. I've never heard of Hand Simulator, but I'll try it. Yeah, it's kind of a co-op-like game. I don't really know what that means. It means that you have to manually accomplish really basic tasks like walking or picking something up. And usually it's really hard to do so, and that's where the fun of the game comes in. Well, go why that will be fun. Well, we'll have to play sometime and you can see what all the fuss is about. What about you, MC? Gonna finally play Celeste?
I really don't enjoy platformers. I mean, it's not just that I'm not a platforming guy. I actively dislike platformers.
But the story!
Look up on LP. Are you really recommending this? Like, if I play this and I hate it, I'm probably not going to play a Natsuki platformer recommendation ever again. But if you're really insistent and wants to take your shot on this one...
I do! Play it! Trust me, in the commentary, it's a can't miss, even if you don't like platformers.
Well, alright.
I've never heard of this game, but then I've never heard of a lot of games. It looks like there's more than one game with that name. I'm assuming you mean the weird mystery puzzle horror one that looks to be a phone app. I will try it. Thank you for the recommendation.
I wasn't aware there was more than one Bastion. Was it Supergiant that developed the one? With like the cool narrator and stuff? Yeah, whatever.
Okay, I think we're on the third email now.
Who is the most and least say-so in the literature club? McGuy. Say-so? I don't know what that word is.
Well, first we probably should explain the Japanese. Say-so means like pure and wholesome, neat and clean.
Oh, they're a weeb.
Or maybe like proper. It's kind of difficult because in some ways, each of us is pretty say-so, but in other ways we're not. But I think overall MC is the most say-so, and I'm the least.
You being the least? Hardly. Although MC is a good candidate for being the most, along with you. Still, overall I'd say most is Sayori, and least is Natsuki.
Yes, obviously I'm the least. But most is obviously MC. He's such a gentleman. MC, what about you?
Well, most is definitely Sayori, but least, yeah, I'd have to agree with Yuri and say least is you, Natsuki. You swear too much to be say-so in this universe.
Look, sometimes that's the only way to get a point across. So, Masita, what's your opinion?
I could never compare my students in such a way. My job as a teacher is to support and lift you all up equally.
Wait! Masita is way more say-so than any of us! She's the True Literature Club say-so champion!
I am forced to agree.
She is pretty say-so.
I don't know, MC is pretty say-so, but yeah, Masita is more.
I'm not sure whether to be embarrassed or flattered.
Both, probably. Let's bring up the next one.
Hi, this question is for Miss Ida. What made you want to be a chemistry teacher instead of a chemistry researcher or something like that?
Oh, is that all? Well, it's a long story. I won't bore you with the details of my own personal journey. One big problem is that I found out that people who do frontline chemistry research are usually doing it for huge profits. Especially in the biochem industry, working on medicines. It's kind of all about the money there, I guess. And I was more into the chemistry than I was into the money. I thought about trying to be a more theoretical researcher, but it's really hard to get a job like that. Even getting into a decent postgrad program is really hard, let alone getting a doctorate and then getting tenure somewhere. I'm reasonably smart, but I don't think I'm that smart. In the end, I'm just passionate about the subject without really being a genius about it. And the job that lets me really make use of that passion on a day-to-day basis is this one. Plus, I think that's where me being a really huge enthusiastic nerd about chemistry really helps the most, you know. Because when a teacher is genuinely excited about the material, that makes it more likely for students to be. So hopefully I think I'm doing the best I can right where I am. Thanks for the question for me, that was a good one.
Okay, one more.
I think that Sayori is the right person to ask for this, wink wink. How long did it take to make Natsuki Quest? Was it hard? It was a lot of fun, thank you for making it. Sorry if my English is not good, it is not my main language. I'm not sure you made any English mistakes, my guy. Love you all, Caden.
Oh yeah, good question. First of all, your English is great. It's very standard and not colloquial yet, but it's very fluent and I understand you perfectly. Yeah, it took me a long time to make Natsuki Quest. Like months and months. I think maybe 3 or 4 months altogether. It was a long process. Fortunately, I had a lot of help because there were a lot of things I didn't understand how to do. And I made some silly choices like having custom dialogue options for every single possible interaction in the game.
Oh, but that's what made it great.
Instead of generic lines like, I can't use these things together. But man, that was worth it. It really helped to deliver the authentic Natsuki experience. Really? Yeah, it really felt like being inside my head. Especially with some dumb person in there telling me to throw food on the ceiling or whatever. Oh good, I'm glad you liked it. You, didn't mind all the shipping stuff. Look, I just expect that from you now. It's the new normal. I barely even noticed it. I'm just glad you thought it sounded like you. It totally did. Well, that's all the usual stuff done. Free time now. Yeah, free time.
Well, I think I'm going to head home early, then, and leave you guys to it. A lot to prep for tomorrow. Try to stay out of trouble, okay?
I will.
Bye, guys.
Oh, she seems tired these days.
Don't tell her that directly.
I know. Anyway, do what you want for the rest of the free time, I guess. I don't know, we're really experienced with people hiding their feelings around here, you know.
Yes, indeed.
And I think Miss Ida is definitely not feeling too great recently. She seems down, she always seems tired.
I agree.
I wonder what it is. I wish we could help.
What could we do? She doesn't like to let us in too much to her personal life. With Sayori, she does a little.
That's because Sayori never leaves her alone about it. I'm not sure it helps, though. She likes to be kind of private.
She does. Again, I am not sure if this is a problem properly within our purview. What?
Did you do that on purpose?
Do what?
The alliteration. A problem properly within our purview.
Oh, no, that's just how I happened to say it.
I thought so. Anyway, we have a lot of reading to get to.
We do. What would you like to start with?
Let's start with your novel. That way I can have something to look forward to later.
Oh, I thought you said you liked this novel.
Sorry, I do. I, was just making a joke.
I see.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get started.
Natsuki and Yari sit by the closet, reading a hardback book together.
This part is kind of gruesome.
Yes, I don't really think it was necessary to be that terrible. The point of the scene gets across just fine without it.
Still, what a mental image. Definitely going to have trouble sleeping tonight.
Well, just don't read the Revelations of Galaki, and you can avoid this happening to you.
I'll definitely try to avoid doing that then.
Smart.
I think I'm going from being terrible at drawing to being only kind of bad at drawing. I don't know, what do you think? Thoughts?
It looks good.
Well, I guess that reaction means it's not as good as I think.
No, it's good.
Oh. So, what are you working on there? Sayori slides her picture over to MC. It is a crudely drawn self-portrait. In the picture, Sayori is expressionless, staring straight ahead with a blank look on her face. I see. Are you doing alright?
Do you remember a couple of fake school years ago, before we were going out, when you stopped me outside my house and asked me to take care of myself?
Yes.
And do you remember how I basically tried to avoid saying no directly, and then you were sad for a little while after that?
I remember.
One day, while you were sad, during the club, you were sitting apart from everyone and drawing a picture. Then you threw the picture away. Do you remember that?
How do you...
Never mind that. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
What were you drawing?
It's pretty cringy. Kinda reluctant to talk about it.
Go on, you can tell me. I'm your girlfriend.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it was me crying. It just felt really bad, and somehow I just felt like I needed to draw it.
Yeah, I understand. That's why I drew this.
MC examines Sayori's drawing some more. You feel blank? So blank that you feel compelled to draw it?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
it happens. To me.
Do you want to talk about it?
Not really. It's just the way I am right now.
Okay.